Hello and welcome to week one, where we are going to be talking about how to connect with your deck. So, today we're going to be talking about everything you need to know about creating an environment that helps you to connect with your deck every day. So, the first thing that we're going to be talking about is creating an altar. This is creating a space that is going to help you to remember to bring spirit into your life every single day. Now, the space where you create your altar needs to be something that works for you. So, and we've had lots of photographs come up into the Facebook group of some absolutely gorgeous altars and really creative ideas of how to make them work. People have put altars in folding desks so they can fold it away from children. They've put them up high on shelves. They've had them on windowsills, right beside their bed, on their bedside table. Really looking at a space that works for you. It needs to be a space that's convenient and that you see often. So the idea of having a spiritual altar is to have a space where you can sit and you can meditate. And look, I find it really difficult to meditate. I actually find I meditate better when I'm taking a meditation for all of you rather than actually trying to meditate for myself. But whether it's quiet time, whatever it is, whether you're just going to sit and shuffle your deck, whatever works for you, it needs to be a space that you can sit near. It needs to have important things that are meaningful to you placed on that altar. And whether it's a photograph, feathers, crystals, and of course, your tarot deck, and maybe even your journal placed on the actual altar to remind you that you really want to try and have your tarot front and center in your life so that you can start to actually form that connection with your deck. So I like to think about your spiritual altar as being like a beacon. And that beacon is just doing this. That's why it needs to have items on there you care about. There might be photographs, could be anything at all. And it's going to remind you to really bring yourself into that universal energy. So I've got an album that I've actually made. I've just remembered there's an album that I've made in the Facebook group that has got all of the photographs that I've found really creative to give you some inspiration to actually help you put your altar together. And I'm always updating this album. So the link to the album is in your email. So don't forget to check your email for all the little links that I've put in there for you to help you really keep going in the course and have lots of new ideas. So if you put your spiritual altar together and you've got your journal there, which of course you might want to use a very similar process to cleanse it as what I'm going to describe now for your tarot deck, you really need to cleanse and energize your tarot deck before you put it on your altar. Now, I know that you're all going to have lots and lots of ideas about how you might go about cleansing and energizing your tarot deck. These are just a few ideas that I'm going to tell you about, and I would love you to share these in the dedicated post in our Facebook group. And I'll talk about what we're going to do for this activity at the end of this lesson. But before placing your tarot deck on your altar, you need to cleanse it. Now, you might have bought a new deck and you might say, oh, look, I've bought a new tarot deck. It's new. I don't need to do that. But you really do, because you don't know what energy your deck's been exposed to. And so what do I do when I cleanse my tarot deck? Well, the first thing I do is I shuffle it. So I get it out and I might throw this deck is really, this is my deck. And I throw it on the table or on the floor and I scramble it all up. Don't lose any cards. Scramble it all up. And then I give it a jolly good, I get it back together and I give it a jolly good shuffle. And I might sit just and close my eyes and really focus on what it is that I want for this tarot deck. What sort of relationship do I want to have with it? Another thing you can do is place your deck in brilliant sunshine on a windowsill, on a table outside, and you can pop a clear crystal on top to really focus the energies into the deck. Now, do be careful, because as I have learned to my peril, tarot decks and moisture do not mix, and I have ruined a really good tarot deck by putting it down in moisture. So always have a scarf or something that you put down first if you're going to be putting your tarot deck down on a table, because it's not good. It's really not good, especially when you're really attached to your deck. So lots of shuffling, lots of handling. Place your deck in the brilliant sunshine, or out on a full moon is another really good way to cleanse it, and pop a crystal on top of your deck. Of course, being mindful of the weather and moisture and things like that. So when you've cleansed all the bad energy out of your deck, you need to think about energizing your deck. And cleansing and energizing your deck, they're two very similar things. So again, lots of shuffling. Carry your deck with you. Now, you need to be careful, and when we talk about grounding and protection, I'll talk to you about this a little bit more, but you need to be mindful that if you're going to be carrying your deck with you, that you have really clear boundaries, because when your deck's with you and it's in your handbag, you'll just pull it out, and before you know it, you'll be doing a reading, and that's not always a good thing. So being really mindful that you've got good boundaries in place, but carrying your deck with you is a wonderful way to really get your energy and your connection going with your deck. And get yourself a really good bag. I did use a box once. I don't think I've got it sitting close to me to show you, but I used a really big wooden box, and it was just too bulky. Even though I carry a backpack, it was just too bulky. So a bag like this is awesome because it's light and it's got the purple velvet inside, and you just keep your deck in there to keep it really protected. Black silk is another really good thing to put your deck in, just to keep it protected from any energy that you don't want your deck to be exposed to. And so that's it for today, talking about your altar and cleansing and energizing your deck. The best place to go, of course, is our Facebook group. You don't have to go into our Facebook group to be part of the course, but for this particular part, there are just so many images in there of gorgeous altars that people have put together. And as I said, I've put them all into an album so that you can actually see them all in the one place, and that link to the album is, of course, in your email. There is also a link in the email for you to share, and I would love it if you could go to the post for week 1 and add your photograph of your altar and any other comments that you would like to make about this week. If you have decided that you would like to use the workbook that I have put together, and the details for the workbook are all in the email, there are some reflection questions there for you to complete in your journal to really get a deeper experience of putting your spiritual altar together and cleansing and energizing your deck. So I hope you enjoyed this week, and I will see you next week, where we are going to be talking about how you can do some activities to really connect with the universe. So we're going to be really getting started in the meaty part of the course. So take care, everybody, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.